Maybe after we get off here, it'll start.
Maybe during. Wouldn't that
Maybe,
be
maybe
fun?
we can manifest that tonight in YouTube. We're manifesting the energy to change. Okay.
That's it. We need it to change now. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna manifest that for a while. It should. Oh, let me go in the chat. I'm just
Go.
waiting. Did I hit that or?
There we go. You're alive.
Live.
You're alive.
Okay. We'll just wait till a little bit here. Um. Yeah. So maybe we can manifest that to change the energy.
Yes, let's change the energy tonight.
Let's change it.
We need to get some sleep.
Yeah, it's like going to bed, and I'm just sitting there going, nope.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you're like sitting in the same stasis of, and your body does not get wiped out in that tired way when you sleep. It is just okay. We're waiting.
Right.
That's the whole thing. It's just frustrating. Everybody, John from Oklahoma.
Hello all.
It has been hot there.
Okay. Evening. I need sleep and relief from this constant headache. I hear you, Sue.
Yes, is a constant rhythm. But it was raining where you're at, and it was raining here, so
Yes,
hopefully the tides are changing. That's what I'm hoping.
I hope so.
So, uh, this download I got was pleasant in just a different way, in how it just flew out of me in spirit. Uh, so, we can kind of start with like there's Fran, um, event that I'm not going to mention of a fear porn that's putting out on the internet, and we do not want to, because once that energy is put out there, then the reaction of the soul goes into a fear process, and it just seems like if those things are just barely getting out there in that way, the bigger things that are coming in a very fast way are going to
Hmm.
put people on overboard, and they need to, this is what it says in that download, how they need to uh, stand the ground and not be shooken by it at all, because uh, it is a collective of reaction. It's reacting from it. It's an old wound that they know how to trigger, push that
Right.
button, and then there's a reaction from it. And I refused to react because there was clear information out there that things were going to surface anyway, um, in that process that we had to go through a couple years ago. So there was, I don't know if San Diego had that uh, bolt of earthquake that he felt the other day, but It was Southern California, New York. So before we go into the download, um, there's always stuff that Ariel posts. People. He was funny the night that Trump and Elon was on because
Yeah, he had some comments.
he was coming out with the shots. It was really funny. Um, the Nintendo thing was pretty funny, I thought. But most of us were raised in that generation when you played that game, you had to
Right.
blow on it, blow on it, blow on it, blow on. And this is the thing, they knew what they were doing. They knew they were building anticipation up for the situation, and that there was problems. I think they made it that way. So then the left really reacted from that process. Saw it, so I thought it was funny. So yeah, so there's several things, and it just seems like it's dropping every 30 minutes versus once a day. But we're getting there. So um, let me address one of these. So as I was talking about on Gail's show about how that this red jubilee was important, and that Spirit showed that was a process that was coming. And then because, like I said, to take something of a source, you have to dismantle what you used as a source before, and you can't take from the left and take from the right. You're like, nope, you decide, and if they either do it the right way or they ain't going to get any funding. So you're seeing one of the bigger banks I saw that got in trouble in the past for doing bad things, and now they're um, aligning with what they need to do. So there's somebody that wants to be first, right? And that's the thing that I'm hearing. Somebody wants to stand up and do the right thing first. So we're going to see which bank does that first and allows to release that. So that's going to be interesting when that is presented, because I'm sure that somebody wants credit for doing something first. So
I'm sure.
I'm trying to go around without saying those institution names. But as that's pushed in and things are down to a zero balance, if you look at that and an impact, that alone is like probably the biggest impact. It's not the funding, it is the impact of that, because then it puts you at a calmness,
Right.
still mind,
Automatically. Yeah.
automatically. And then the other impact of it coming in is not going to affect you. It'll affect you in a positive way, but it's just you're already preparing for that, because this, as I do the download, they're using certain words on it, so I'm not trying to give all that away in the download, but that chain effect of having those chains on us and slavery process completely is gone. Um, so that's why they're talking about that energy with that information. So this download was it was very positive in such a different way of how we need to look at things in a very soul connected, and how things are positive. Don't get caught up and an old situation that's trying to dominate something that has no control over anymore.
Mhm.
That's the whole process with us now. So that's why I like the speed this came in and how they. Um, and one of the first subjects they went into was animals, which was intriguing. So the animals, and I'll start with this, and of course, when I do downloads, you usually have to listen to it twice because I download it the way I get it. And so you're going to have to go back and listen to it over to understand what I'm saying sometimes. So it says, as we start with this download, animals are looking for their movement, and it's a movement of their own. To do something they never would do or bring forward. Which you would not expect that. This movement of their energy will bring you to tears at that very moment.
Wow.
So, and I felt very emotional this because it feels it's almost nature and animals coinciding and leading because they're ahead of the conscience and where we're going. But the way they look at this movement to do something, it's going to bring you to tears at that very moment in that movement. And them, how they present themselves, how they come out of certain areas, and how and they go into feel a warm wind that is clear. This is at the moment that they deal with that, and you will feel like stars moving through us, like a very calm, consistent energy, and it's almost like a stillness of time stops. Because when you see something that big, as animals are triggered by certain events, this is a different type of understanding. Like they said, it's a movement, an emotion that they do something, but it feels, this is what we're going to feel a warm wind that is clear. It's like stars moving through us.
Hmm.
And the pink fog is coming soon. And she did a picture this morning and she had no idea about this download.
Nope.
No idea. Um, and so it says, don't give the world control it doesn't have. The light walks among you, which is the light beings, the light frequency. Like we're moving and we're walking in this energy that we don't understand, but they're saying they're walking beside us through this. So the animals are in one position, and they're in the standstill, like they're addressing them. And this pink, which we've already talked about, this pink fog, which is important, and which I found it interesting. You saw it on Trump's face on a picture.
Mhm.
I've been talking about this fog for a while, so that's just interesting. Whether how you look at it as pink or red, but I just saw it as so. And they say, like stars moving through us. The pink fog's coming soon. Do you want to show that picture?
Can't wait. It's up. You just have to.
Oh yeah.
It's loaded up. So.
And
There you go.
Jeep had no idea.
Not a clue. Not a clue.
So as we get through this, briefly. Um, so we'll go back to this. Go to chat real quick. So, um, so we'll move on to that. So, don't give the world control it does not have. And this is at that moment of where we're in is why would you be giving an energy that's not in control of things anymore? Any type of control at this point. You have to know the evidence is right in front of you. And this presence of the star moving through us, the energy moving through us. So the light walks among us. The light walks among us. We can't see it yet. We're thinking it's not there. So this is what's important. There will be a silence as the truth is seen on film. I want you to understand that. Well, this is about as things start to be revealed on film. This is what was very interesting. There will be an energy with that rolling. Even with the truth revealing, and there's an energy as that's rolling, you're going to feel this truthness from the soul that they're showing. Completely. And that's kind of like when you're watching a movie and you're feeling the trueness of it. You know what I'm saying? But they're showing this. They're like, as these films, there's an energy of truth with that. And those are signs of the truth, and so our soul's going to reside in that trueness. So it's I think as that settles the process of people go, is this real or not? So that it's going to hit you.
Yeah.
So you can't deny it because you're feeling it in a different way.
Right.
In that process that's they're saying. So, and that's the thing that you heard people say, well, how are they going to accept the truth on this? And it's just because there's an energy of the truth that comes with these precise film strips that need to be revealed at the time they need to be revealed. So everything is coincide at the right time. So it's important. So the souls will come to a point of feeling overwhelmed. That is us. By the emotion of what we lost by being unguarded. That is where, of where the healings will start at that moment of feeling that. So the soul will come to a point of feeling overwhelmed by the emotion of what we lost. Because we have to recognize what we lost. Because there is a huge loss in this of understanding it by seeing it, feeling it, connecting with it in a different way. That's the whole thing. Those movies we watch, there's an algorithm to it. This is different. This is a total different understanding that's going to present to the soul that resides with the creator of the truth, instinctive knowing. So what we have lost by being unguarded, that is where the healing will start. So then what's that do? That gets you to a point of that realness. But then there's that stillness of acceptance.
Right.
So the way they're describing this is, they're just telling me the way they're and they said, you will listen with your heart. We are all calling you home. and you will be safe. So here's those words are strong.
They are. I'm getting confirmation while you're saying it. I can feel it.
Emotional because everybody wants to hear
Yeah.
that. They wants to
Yeah.
hear.
Mm-hmm.
Listen with your heart. We are calling you home. You will be safe.
Yeah. Spirit right behind you too. Just went by.
No, right. Don't start. Don't start. We ain't doing that tonight. But this is a different one. So, okay. Some even will come. They say, some will come in the sake of your spirit. It's that safeness of understanding that you are safe, and we are here to make sure you are safe. Do you understand? So it gives you that extra security. And that's where they're talking about that whole pink fog and how they are here in that stillness. So it's important. So stand still, hold the line, hold on. Because we're not at a process of being alone. We're not at a process by ourselves on this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's hard to accept. But like they said, listen with your heart. We are calling you home. You will be safe.
Mm-hmm.
Even, they're going to, save our spirit. Stand in that still moment and hold the line. And then it says, hold your shield. They are going in this frequency of, they keep saying shake you. There's a frequency of this, as we're holding the line, and don't let anything shake you. Don't let anything negative move you in that moment. That is important, that we are holding the line in a different way. And it is almost like them breathing down your neck, and you're staying in that still moment of these processes, what we have to witness. And that's the whole thing about this. They're not going to be able to get us to deny what we're seeing with our eyes with these films,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a trueness that resides in that they are bringing in.
Yeah, they're not just gonna see it; they're gonna feel it in their
No,
soul.
that is
Feel
what
it.
we're connected with on Creator, is that
Right.
whole process. Fear on the darkness in the clouds. So, oh, here we go. Sorry, I missed this. So the shield, they are going to shake you. Now, this is important, with an events of fear or darkness, as in the clouds of darkness, in darkness of clouds. And I've talked about seeing through darkness and not being in a fear process of darkness when you're looking through it, because that's
Mm-hmm.
what they want. So they are going to shake you with events of fear or darkness in the clouds. So you're going to see it, you're going to witness, you're going to look up, you're going to feel it around you. And that is where that stillness, staying, holding the line. Remember to see through the darkness. You can see through it. So it is at that still moment we have them around us. We are walking through this. We are have to bear the witness. But they want us to hold the line in this. It's important. As a large sound in the sky, something you have never heard before, will move you to listen It'll make you want to see more. And again, that is that energy again that's going to intrigue, the same energy that that film strip is going to bring. It's going to bring a knowledge of wanting to reveal that they can't stop.
Mm-hmm.
They can't stop it. So, a large sound in the sky, something you have never heard before, will move you to listen, and you'll want to see more. Some sounds will shake this earth. So, this literally is, if you process in the way that they're saying, it is literally you being in your oneness and stillness and trusting the process and not allowing the negative to trigger you,
Mm-hmm.
put you in those human process. Don't. And that is a quite a thing for us to stand strong in that. This large sound, it's not something I've heard in a different way. It has a, it's almost like breaking a sound barrier
Okay.
to it. And it's something that everybody's going to know what it is. So, uh, in the sky, something you have never heard before will move you to listen, and you're going to be like, "What was that?" And then you're going to wanting to hear more of it. So it's not something that's going to put you in a fear process, but it will shake the earth. And this was interesting. They have already done the worst to you. Okay, now you can overcome this. If you look at it, look what we look back on. They've already thrown everything at us.
Yeah.
So you've already come the worst. That's one page.
Just page one. Oh, okay. We're gonna have to rewatch this several times. All of
Oh
uh it was
my
strong.
goodness.
You got orbs going like crazy. You've
Oh
got
really?
I'm
Yeah.
getting I'm getting the confirmation chills kicking on here and there.
Right. There. Well, it's just they want this because they don't want us to be in a certain process with this, and this is the part of the that's important that we're
Mhm.
going through this. It's important. But this is that process of our own power
Mhm.
as a collective,
Mhm.
as they do as a higher collective. They stand strong in that, and that's what they want from here out. Because
Right.
the animals are leading this in a way of a stillness already, and you already see how they're acting in the ocean, in the land. They're already getting prepared for this. So the sound is what I'm interested in. So some of us are already sensitive to hearing.
Mhm.
So
Right.
that tells me in that sound and that vibration, is there a language that we know of from our past? Is there something that's going to get us to remember something? It's going to go into this right here in a minute.
Mhm.
Um, okay, so I'm not going to stop there. They got a lot of information.
Well,
Okay.
just to go over one quick. I mean, some people are asking a few questions. Like, this is something everybody. This is everywhere. Everybody's gonna be.
Yes,
This is gonna
everybody.
hit everybody everywhere,
Yeah,
all at the same time.
I have to
Okay.
get a Kleenex while you're
Do what you got to
explaining
do.
that.
That's okay. So this is gonna hit everybody everywhere. The pink fog is not gonna hurt anyone unless you're a negative. being. We know that already. Jenny's mentioned it before on a few other videos, but I think we're all going to have to go back and rewatch this a few times. Jenny's got 3.5 more pages to go, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, so the okay. So then they go into technology will change before your human eyes. A golden road of light is coming. And it was really interesting how they presented that. Like it's not something slow, like literally a different veil has been held back, then all of a sudden, boom, and we're all like, with everybody having money, everybody having funding. I mean, who's going to work and all this stuff? And I'm like, they're like, don't worry about it. We got it covered. It's already, you don't understand. You haven't seen this stuff. You haven't understood what this process is like. So, and I keep saying I would, I would invest in technology. That was the one thing, gold, silver, and technology. I've always said, for your human's eyes, the golden road of light is coming. So they talk about travel. That's why I'm not buying anything that has to do with anything traveling until everything's put out, because I think that's all changing completely across the board. Food, so that process has to change in that way. And then they say nature will change before you. The view of it, the color of it, the frequency of it, before your eyes. It's like they're showing the color schemes that you see in front of you. It's just gonna
neat.
change, So I thought that was neat the way they show this. The golden road of light is coming. So travel, the way we travel, the existence of travel and how we get there and how fast we get there, the process of food, how it exists, how, all that is people like, how are we supposed to have all this food? I'm like, technology in a different way. It's already there, So we have this 3D curtains behind it, but they also say a natural, nature in a natural way will change before your eyes. So I'm interested in travel. Really, how fast, how quick, how advanced, and that's the thing. Like I said, I don't see having to drive semi or getting a car and that process anyway. I mean, technology is going to be really cool in that way. Just how things are changing. This was interesting how they said this. New water will appear. That was weird. Interesting. In new islands will appear. Cities of light will be seen. And I'm not feeling anything from here that you're seeing. It is total different veil coming in. So waters will be, new waters, which is, and they showed me different waters of, different substance, and it's in it more of a purification and all that stuff. And that's where we talk about the East Coast and the West Coast, how the water will rinse up and all that stuff. And it's just, it's changing. And I think I talked about this on this Ismail's show too, about the East Coast and the West Coast, but I also said that there's a frequency in the water. So that's what's going to be different. So new islands will appear, cities of light will be seen. So it's all of this new acceptance and how this can happen, and that's the thing about, everybody's wondering, how could anybody accept this? Because it resides with, there's a trueness inside us that you're going to know. It's nothing, I don't think there's going to be convincing in the way that we think we have to convince in the 3D.
Right. Definitely not in a 3D way. No.
No, I don't think so. Um, so then new waters, okay. And then it says money will become less important to you. It's if you have all this happening and everything's appearing, that whole substance of that just doesn't matter, does it?
Mm-mm.
It really doesn't. If you look
No.
at it, it'll become less important to your soul because you're understanding the process and understanding that higher dimension beings, that it's not something they talk about. It's not something that's important to them. So the real peace will come, and it says, okay, this is something. So the damage of the soul that has to be repaired. So let me, okay, the real peace will come. We see the damage of the soul that has come has to be repaired. So this is interesting on how they showed me this. Now, the soul that has to be repaired, and then it shows a light, and it goes, flash of light will go away. So a flash, they say a flash and a flash. So we're thinking that we have all this damage we have to overcome, like the lies, the deceit, the problems, all that stuff. So they're showing me in a flash the damage will be gone.
Hmm.
And all I go back to is Men in Black. Look at the light. Flash, flash,
Light.
flash. Right?
Right.
Just it's just the damage of the soul that has to be repaired. Light of flash of the light will go away. Flash, flash, flash.
Mm-hmm.
So are we making things harder than it is in the future by analyzing it in that process of generations of damage, generations that have mutilated themselves because they've been told to, or hurting themselves, or psychologically, mentally, and physically? Is it going to go away that fast? It's hard for us to.
It's hard to think. It's hard to imagine that here in in this version of us. Yeah. But who says it can't?
Right. So, like calm, and they explain this flash, 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 like a calm dream coming soon, a stillness in time is at your door. So, as everybody's thinking that these devices are going to have to repair all this, and is it that hard, really, that we're going through? Is it the damage of the soul that has to be repaired, like a light of, just a flash of light that will go away? Flash, flash, flash.
Hmm.
So that's the thing. And then it says, like the calm dream coming soon, the stillness and time at your door. It's interesting.
Right. Big orb. Yes.
Hmm. So it's just things that are we making things harder than they are because we're used to one process, and as
Right.
they're showing, it's not that hard at all, and their concept, because there's things that we don't remember, um, but there's cops.
Mm-hmm.
That whole flash, 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 like calm dreams coming soon, stillness in will be at your door. You know. Uh, so here's some stuff that is talking about some events. I see a dam of water shaking. which is they're showing me a dam
Okay.
and moving through your valleys. So they show in this water, how, and they show it in a way of how you get one leak and then it just shakes. There's a shaking movement. Again, goes back to the shaking movement through the valley. We are no longer holding water back. And the way they said that, of the bridges, it has to break. Cars will move and buildings will too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Will burn. Now, this was interesting. So I'll repeat this again. We are no longer holding the waters back. The bridges have to break. The cars will have to move. The buildings will burn. Then they talk about a blue light in the sky, are more powerful than you know. Not green, not red, but blue. Blue lights in the sky are more powerful than you know.
Interesting.
So, as we're talking about the waters and the East Coast and the West Coast, how these waters hit, but we know it in the 3D. Is it doing completely something different, as in shaking and carrying a vibration within those waters, moving through the valleys? We are no longer holding the waters back. The bridges have to break. Cars will move. Buildings will burn. It's interesting. We are breaking the chains that bind you to the old system that works and runs off pain.
Hmm.
These are the chains. We are breaking the chains that bind you to the old system that works and runs off pain. That's our energy, suffering, fear.
Good.
So I would call that the matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there has been orbs all around me since I
Oh
did
yeah.
this download.
Busy, busy.
They're excited
Yeah.
because sometimes they're like, "Get it done, get it done, get it done." Um, so we break the chains that bind you to the old system that work and run off pain. So this was interesting. There is a emotion, and they showed me crying of the last coming to get your soul ready. So get ready to lose it. Like this energy that's coming. There is an emotional cry. It's like the last process of it. That you're going to get so emotional. The soul is ready, is going to be ready to lose it because it's so connected. It's so, and it regains some. You get to regain something new,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the thing they showed me. So they said it's so important to understand the emotion because it's connected uh, in your soul that it's ready. That it's going to lose it in a different way. It's not like that. It's just what I call that um, when you're down to your knees because it does make you humble, and it's just
Yeah.
the energy that makes you humble and the
Yeah.
connection. So as you listen to this is the thing. We're all in fear of. They were all in fear of talking about how are we going to process this? How are you going to get them to awake? But there's already an energy. The truth resides in us. So
Mm-hmm.
at that moment when things start to reveal, it's an energy that already tells you the truth.
Right.
So it's not that hard. But that's what they say. There's an emotion cry. And it feels like the stillness. It's a calmness. It's a peace. Get ready to lose it and regain something new.
Mm-hmm.
And here's something we've all been wondering about in the past 4 months, how we've been feeling. And we kind of verified. We've been downloading new energy with you, in you. Don't be afraid. You will remember again. This is an event coming. I am at the edge watching all of you.
Mm-hmm. Confirmation, Nick.
Right. Okay. Let me tell you, because let me tell you, if we would have known what they would put us through, I don't think a lot of us would be signing
Right.
any contract or remember that on the dotted line at all, because the Groundhog Day effect has been a nightmare.
Yeah.
So we have been downloading new energy with you. Don't be afraid. You will remember again. This is an event coming. I am at the edge of the waters, all with you.
Yeah.
We're all witnessing. We're all in presence of it as we go through it. Everything must go from the old world. Sorry, everything must go completely from the old world. It is no longer service to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with this download, it has to do with that steadiness, that stillness, and understand they're already here, they're already assisting, we're already been downloaded. We didn't come this far at this very moment, and where we're at on things, and the ones that gave up their blood, sweat, and tear, lives, spirit, everything, to lose at all. So these events that are coming, that you're going to see, it's staying in the stillness. So I'm at the edge of the water, witnessing it. So in control of it and watching it. So everything must go from old world, it must be annihilated to no longer serves you. That is something when I did that picture of Creator and he's got his arms out and we're behind and he says, I'm leaving you this time.
Mm-hmm.
And so that has to do with all that energy, with all that creation, with all that stillness moment. That's so I thought that was amazing download that they gave today and
Yeah. It was.
but it helps understand things where how we need to function from here out and how we need to adapt. But there are events coming. But staying in that stillness moment and staying in that position and not in a process of fear, because you're going to get through this. You're going to get processed through this. You're going to heal through this very quickly. But they're not. As I hear and hear from Spirit, they try and take as many as they can with them. And so the thing I want you, if there's anything on here that I've ever taught anybody, at this very moment when this happens, it is just going to bring you down to your knees. But at that moment, this world, that stillness of that energy. It's it's a rejoice in a different way.
Right.
It is the door to the new universe. It's the door of a new light.
That's the door we've been waiting for.
Right.
Mm.
So that was
Yeah.
a fucking amazing download.
That was a good one. That was a good one. Oof.
Yeah, let me tell you, I didn't expect that today, but uh, like I said, these Mondays they just want me to use that for these times. So I'm like, if they're starting with that, I have no idea what they're going to end with.
Oh, no kidding.
I mean, that's the whole thing. This, in the understanding, this gives our power back, but also gives us to understand the strength is behind us. They're with us. They're here,
Mhm.
watching us go through this and
Right.
seeing us develop through it. I mean, do you?
Right.
And it's the thing is how can you think you're going to lose at this point?
Right.
You've
Right.
already won. We're already here. Just the process of getting, and that's the whole thing. I think that is the thing. They answer the question. If everybody's in fear whether they're going to accept this as the film rolls. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But if the soul resides in the truth and it brings them to a different understanding,
Right.
you have to explain it to them. Their soul's already telling them. So we're not dealing with a narcissist energy of wanting to be right. We're dealing with compelled to see the truth.
Mhm.
So that's the thing that matters with this process. So
Right.
on here out, it's like whatever they throw at you, whatever they try to do to shake you got to look at the environment around you, and they're all staying in that stillness moment and processing that information, and we're being led to a new kingdom, to a new city, to light. Everything's being revealed that needs to be revealed,
Mhm.
but they got to throw these little bait things out there to trigger, and they're just like, don't do it. Just stay in that stillness of it.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just it's like I never know when I do these downloads what I'm going to get.
Right.
I don't go in knowing. It's just they get into this process and they just throw it at me, and I just allow it to be what it is until it shows its truth on it. So, and that's the thing is their games of trigger is all you got to do is stay in the stillness, and it won't affect you. It won't be something that it'll enter you. That's the same thing as identifying. As they
Mhm.
on the other side that I teach the identification, don't allow it in.
Right.
Um, and so we're in these moments that I could say, everybody on this earth, everybody on this planet, and like I said, you got to be paying attention to the animals, like they're saying. They're going to be in this process. They're leading this because they're listening different than we are.
Mhm.
That's the whole thing that's important. And so this is where humanity stands up and says, no more, no more. We're done.
Yeah.
We're going to
Not gonna
hold
listen to the fear
our,
porn. Not gonna. Yep.
hold our still down, stay in that stillness moment until these energies are presenting to us that we have to walk through this
Mhm.
process. So it's important.
Yeah.
So Let the waters come. If the dams go, if the buildings go, and the fire starts, you still stay in the stillness.
Yep.
And then eventually the funding comes, but then you realize it's not important when we get to a certain process with it. Technology comes in at a vast process, and we see how that is implemented. Our whole world of the 3D just disappears.
Right. And I think too, the download that you got for those of us, I mean, we we're on the phone every day comparing aches and pains and all these new things,
Right,
and the frustrations that are popping up and the anxiety that's popping up, and
right,
the exhaustion that's popping up, and all these things that are happening to us because we're changing and returning crystalline and all that. Just hearing that download on top of the information that came through, feeling what came through, just helps to have to deal with that a little easier. Like we know
right,
but it's coming. I think it'll help a lot of people.
right. And that's the whole thing. I mean, I think this is just something they know that we needed to hear, we needed to get verified, but we also the best thing that we can do as of where we are now and how our world has changed, and I'll say the council of this world that we're in, they're making the choices to guide us in a different way. The warriors that have been fighting, they're leading us in a different way, protect us in a different way. This is what you can do for them is not react in fear anymore. It is react in that stillness of staying completely balanced,
Hmm.
trusting the process now, and not
Right.
reacting. And this is makes you understand, like we've been talking about going out in public, okay, and dealing with these other people that have no understanding. And this makes you stay in the stillness at that moment too.
Hmm.
Because you
Yeah.
understand it's a process now that we're going to work through and we're going to change through. That's the whole process of this.
Hmm.
So, do I think the beginning of this is the Jubilee? Yeah. So
Okay.
when it happens, and you can start it now, which would be good, or you can start it then you're like, I'm going to promise to stay in the stillness now. Because that's the gift, the freedom you've been given.
Right.
So now what we can do to return it is stay still. And just like the animals are staying still.
Right.
So and that alone gives your power back. But also what's going to come along with this. I mean that whole flash thing. I mean that solves a lot of problems of thinking that we're going to go through this. How are we going to get through this damage, which is a lot. So the soul to repair,
Right.
So when the Albi showed me, there's a certain moment that you're just going to realize everything, and so you don't have that panic with it. Carries that. So uh,
Hmm.
there's not anybody that doesn't carry a collective of wounds that they've been through to get here, but they're here.
Right.
It's a gift to be here, to be of witness of this event. So now, what you can do to get back is stay in that stillness, because you're going to enjoy it more. You're going to observe it differently. And only that, with that stillness, you can reach out and have that steady pace of helping people by understanding them more.
Right.
So, so the last thing that he said Stay humble. That's the thing. So we can start to take questions.
Alrighty. Let's go back. Hang on. Let's see.
So even, I mean, I don't know about you, but right, even telling people this, I think it brings, you can feel the calmness it brings as a collective right now.
Yeah.
You guys can give me a heart or whatever, but you can give me a thumbs up. But even as collective as is processing this information right now
Right.
is changing that
Right.
right now. Because we're changing our consciousness, how we look at things and how we stand in something, you know,
Right.
behind the shepherd.
How you go, Thomas said, our own space of grace. I like that, Thomas. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
And that's the whole thing. And because your ears are listening to the information that is sent for you, and now you can make a decision on, like, I'm going to stay still.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Will calm that nerve down, the whole system, and hold that line.
Yep.
As they say, hold the line. And we are.
All the time. Right.
So that's the whole thing. It's important, because it is. And then it's going to be weird. So imagine these events happening within a week of what you thought were important at the beginning of that week. When this happens, this whole event, at the end of it, it's not even, it won't even matter.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much that happened, it won't even matter. There'll be so much good events in the process, it won't even matter. You're just riding out this good energy, or riding out this new process that we're going through.
Yeah. Some folks are asking. They still look at like timeline. I know in the beginning you had said around autumn time in the past, but it seems like you think it's going to happen a lot
No,
sooner.
it's,
It's around the
well,
corner. No.
I think if you go back to the prediction, um, 2020, if you go back and it talks about the shepherd when the first fall leaf drops,
Mm-hmm.
different now, but as in him, um, basically, standing at attention in the podium with that process, like completely coming out of the curtain. So we're already in a process of that. Um, so is everything else already starting? Yes. Um, so I already think there's nowhere to go. Like I said, I look at checklist, I don't look at dates, and I keep hearing in my head, Jubilee, Jubilee, Jubilee. They don't stop. They're like, that has to be next. This has to be at a process of
Mm-hmm.
that. So, but if you really look at it, what that is next
Right.
to get to the next process, we have to get to that. So, like I said, it's not the gift of the money; it's the gift of enslavement that's gone. So,
That different feeling of freedom.
yeah. But to live in a warm energy, be safe, uh, in a peaceful way.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's the thing, that it's not lavish, because the lavish is just ego.
Right.
And that's all you. When you look, that's what animals want: to be content, to be fed, to be at a balance, to enjoy our world.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, we had a question from Mathis that says, Sounds like the tectonic plate shift of some sort would be happening, correct? And shaking the foundations and releasing new energy, even the land masses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about the plates,
Yep.
5 circulating. So
That's
yeah.
coming up.
Yes.
Okay. Go with another one on this side. Okay, since time for us in 3D is far longer than for those in higher dimensions, should we expect major events in years from now, say 2030-ish? I think it's going to be happening a lot sooner than that.
A lot sooner than that. And that dates in the year thing doesn't. It's
Yeah.
never decided with me. And I bring up a date with spirit, and they're just like, "Oh, you're going back to dates again?" Nope.
Mm-hmm. Somebody says their cat is eating the dog's food and the dog is eating the cat's food.
That's funny.
It is. Let's see. Somebody mentioned that it's not a question, but they read a book that said if you're here now, you are in Atlantis and here to put things right that went wrong then.
Right.
Okay. I think you've already answered some of these as you went along. Let's see. I know I probably missed a question or two, but if someone wants to type one in, put it in caps. That way I can find it easy. Thank you.
Do you believe everyone has a guardian dragon? And this is the thing that's evident of dragons in the past and skeletons of dragons in the past. And I've had downloads. Sorry, I'm getting a cold. Downloads of how precious they are. So I definitely believe a lot of things are going to be evident on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So Bella asks, then after this, Yeshua will still return, question mark. I'm confused as to the order of things. I guess the general order.
Yeah, I mean, he's part of this whole process.
Right.
Yeah. Of course. Will return. I think he's already here. I don't think he left.
See.
The golden keys. Just seems like, that's the whole thing. Is we're going through process now, and then this is the thing at the end of this session. What Spirit's saying now is just take away pushing out there, talking to someone, staying in the stillness of the energy.
Mm-hmm.
Pushing the fear side and staying in the stillness and getting that out there and having them stand still, like we are guarding our planet in a different way of light instead of darkness. And that's what's important.
Right.
I didn't want to do my hair tonight. I just put a cap on.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Let's see. Someone said that it happened twice in a dream. They saw a golden fire, and then the fire turned into a golden key.
Mm-hmm.
Those
I've
seem
seen
important.
so many of those golden keys. There's so
How many? How many?
on Instagram, on pictures that I
Right?
can't even describe. They're everywhere. They're with lions. They're on stairs. They're on golden carpets. They're indoors. They're in the
Uh,
sky. I mean, they're everywhere. Yeah. So, and I even after I did this, I just felt like an energy changing and shifting. And so there's something that I can feel the energy's going to change. So where we're going. So this is the thing. If I had to have you push anything, I'd tell you and tell as many people as you can. Is anybody that talks in fear, you tell them to stay in the stillness and hold the line. That's what you need to tell them.
hmm
That's how we can get back. This is how we can do something about it now.
hmm
Because they're all going to feel it. They're all going to go through it, a process. Yeah, we accept the keys. Yep. So, um, the lions. I don't know what type of lions you're seeing, but mine, the one I see, are pretty big. Good luck letting those down. That ain't happening. And that's the thing about the sound. That's
hmm
make that sound that you're hearing, the event, a different that resides within inside you. I mean, this is all things that we're allowed to remember things, and we're going back to those memories and uh, not feeling yourself feeling uncomfortable about that. Just listening, as the like Spirit says. Sometimes all you have to do is listen. That's the whole thing. Uh,
hmm
so that's the whole thing. So this is literally the replicators are going to be big in the technology and everything. So
Right.
that's the thing that's important. So
Let's see. This image reminds me of the movie Fifth Element. At the
right,
end, she holds the light she uses to disperse the light. I feel we're that too.
yes, we are.
Okay.
Remember again, this is an event coming, and I am at the edge of the water with you. And that's what you need to remember. You're not alone with this, but they are at the edge
hmm
of the water watching it. Everything must go from old world into that it no longer serves you. And how we start that is allowing to stay still and let the process happen. If there anything that would piss the negative off is not reacting to it.
Right.
And by doing that, you're paying attention to the perception around it and
hmm
seeing through it and being a part of it. That's what matters. So, yes, the sleepers can finally see because it resides within them,
Right.
the truth. And that's what they're going to reside with. So, it's
So
that
someone's
it is that calmness that all of us want to be at. It is
right.
just this calmness.
Someone's worried about when that pink fog comes through if they're out driving and it, or they're outside their house. Because I'm in an app with zombies. Like, but I think when that fog goes through, I don't know. I don't think many people will be.
And that's a stillness. I think we're all
Yeah.
going to be the flash, as they say, the
Mm,
flash on here.
triple flash?
Yes, that triple flash, 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 flash. I don't think anybody's going to be going anywhere. I think they'll be at
Probably
that stillment moment that um, completely.
Right. This sounds imminent, correct? Yes, yes. I,
Yes.
I think imminent's the good word. Yes.
So that's the thing. The thing is these bridges, buildings, and dams, and that's where you can't react from it. That's the whole thing. Like, we're getting you prepared, but don't react from it. Just let it.
Mhm.
That's where we go back to the symbolism that has to be dismantled. So, I mean, that's the whole thing. If there's ever anything that we can take away from where we are right now, it is taking this and turning this into a process that we will not be in fear. We'll stay for that moment the same as the nature is standing in its standstill and waiting for this process to come. That alone will change the frequency. That alone could hurry this whole process up. So, and that's what they're talking about, the darkness. Let's go back to where we fear the darkness, and I've taught in classes not that you can see through darkness.
Mhm.
It really depends on how you decide to look at it. Um, hold on. And I teach in class about seeing through darkness, and it's something that breaks down, and they don't see it as a fear process anymore. So,
And I think right now too, with everything that's out there, I mean, they're really bombarding people with all this fear porn that's out there with everything going on right now. It's almost like even more than
it's like a
before.
circuit board. They send out certain circuits, and then all they know which ones are going to react from it, and then it sparks it. And that's what you can do. And that stillness is like, nope, it's not going further than me. I'm done. I'm going to stay in this and not going to react to it, because that would move that circuit board of that fear out further.
Mhm.
That is what they're doing. So then they talk about to feel the warm wind that is clear, like a star moving through us in the pink fog.
Mhm.
And that's that slow motion. It almost feels like time has just stopped, and you're just a drift of light moving through it. And don't give the world control it doesn't have. So that was a lot of the messages I had tonight.
That was a lot. Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
big one.
Well, I'm thinking if they're going to start with this, we're going to, want to basically, I think, and I know a lot of people is like, Jen's repeating these predictions, but I had to get to a certain point with them that they needed to be seen. Now we're at a different phase that they're like, okay, now you can go ahead and start downloading these new predictions of these new downloads so we can get into these new phases of their new world. So that's what's important now.
Right.
So, and that's the thing, when the events that are coming in a way and not reacting, that's what matters.
Yeah.
So we've got to. So I don't know what.
We
Well,
got to hold that line. Keep those
that's
shields up.
exactly right. Figure out what these allergies are starting on.
Uh,
Because you had a run. Did you say you had a stuffy nose this morning too?
oh, this morning, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know what's going on, but yeah, it's starting. Um, so this is the thing that this is the whole thing that I think is really the silence will be, uh, seen in the film as the truth. And that silence that we have inside our own intuition as we're viewing that with our eyes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we don't need to convince them because it's already going to have a form of knowing.
Right.
So that's what's important that I think a lot of us were debating how's that gonna change them.
How's
This
it? Yeah. How's it going to convince
is
them?
how it's gonna change them
Yeah.
because we reside with the truth, and then when something is very true to us, we can't let it go. We can't just dismiss it.
Right.
We have to figure it out, and so the soul will come to a point of feeling overwhelmed by the emotion of what we lost by being unguarded. That is where the healing as one starts.
Hmm.
So people need to disperse this message, get it out there in the stillness, and hold the line.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones that have been on the front line, standing right behind them, holding the line and putting that message out there and knowing that we won't be shaken. Our world is going to be shaken, but powers that be are going to be in control of how that demise happens. But we need to be listening. We need to be standing still. We need to be looking up all together. And it'll bring us to our knees. So
Most definitely. Yeah.
I love the message that Spirit brought today. So
Yeah. That was a good one. That was very helpful to many, I think.
we're starting with these new ones like this. I don't know at the end of this is it's neat. So
Right.
that's all I have for tonight. You guys know how to contact me for readings, classes, remote viewing. But take this message, spread it, share it, and let's turn this around and show them that we will not be shaken or moved or put in a fear process anymore. We're going to stay in this still moment and
Mm-hmm.
watch, bear witness.
Right.
That's what matters. So watch the power, what that does if you put that message out there. Watch how it changes.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be surprised because I've seen them do it every time. It's
Right.
amazing. So we want to get this done. It starts with us. Let's finish it by standing still.
Great message.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you, Jenny. And thank you, Spirit.
so as soon as I get some more, I'm going to put it out here and let you guys know. And I'm glad I didn't have to. We only did the one picture, and if I added pictures on top of this, that would have been like.
Oh, yeah. That would have been a lot.
I'm glad I just do the download.
Right.
You guys, good night, and stay grounded and stay in the stillness.
Mm-hmm.
Good night.
Right. Good night, guys. Thank you.